Hey Erika, this is a snatch analysis from one of your lists a few days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So we're going to watch full speed first, give it a quick look. Sorry, there's lines all over it, but wanted to have some good lines and didn't want to have to draw them in the middle of the analysis, so okay. We're going to have to watch it with lines on it for a sec. Alright, so overall, some things we can, definitely things you can work on. You do keep it super close, that's good. Looks like you're jumping pretty vertically, you're not like throwing your hips into it or anything, so that's good. But let's take a closer look here. So your setup, pretty good here. Gotta zoom in on your feet. It's clear that the weight is in the front of your foot. It might be too much in the front of your foot. It's hard to tell because the bumper is covering, but it looks like there's a lot of space underneath the back of your heel there. Ideally, I'd just be able to slide a piece of paper underneath there. The weight should be kind of distributed on the back of the ball of your foot. So if you can imagine like maybe your second to last shoelace or your last shoelace around there. That's also where the barbell should be starting. So it looks like you'd have to have a pretty big foot for that to be happening right now. It looks like the barbell's starting pretty far in front of you. Like, I can't imagine that you're, I don't know, maybe it is. But anyways, it looks like you're pretty darn forward in the start. So it might just be taking a cue too far here. Other than that, I'm glad your eyes are up. Your back is straight here, which is good. I'm glad your back is engaged. Your hips are extremely low. I think that's just a product of you being really far forward in the start. So ideally, let's see if I can draw this in a different color here. Your start position might look something more like that. So just a little bit back of where you are right now. Not sure how to explain that any more clearly. But definitely let me know if you have questions on that. I can show you when you get to the gym. It's basically just raising your hips a little bit and not being so far forward. So that's the setup. From there, because your hips are so low, they're going to immediately shoot up. I know that for sure, so that your knees can get out of the way. So also, before we go any further, this vertical line is drawn on the video because it's kind of like the golden rule of volley lifting. Never cross that line. If you do, the barbell's gotten really far away from you, and then there'd be issues to fix there. So, so far doing good. Haven't crossed that line. You're pulling it back into you. So this is close to what we practice in the hang position. The first thing I want to say is this is what your back and your hip angle would look like ideally in the start. So you get there eventually, but it'd be really good if you could start there as well so that your back angle could stay consistent from the floor all the way till you pass your knees. So it looks like the barbell might maybe be even with your knees here, and you're already starting to jump, so that's an issue here. Guess we'll talk about the hang a little bit more for a second here. In the hang position, the weight should be right here-ish. So again, it looks like you're still pretty far forward. We can tell that by how it looks like the weight is just distributed in the front of your foot still, because your heel is just slightly off the ground. So I'd say get a little bit more into your heels here. I think that will automatically go away if we fix your setup, like I just talked about a minute ago. The next thing to discuss is what I just prefaced a second ago. So you want to keep traveling with this consistent back angle as long as possible, past your knees as long as possible if you can. So that depends on limb lengths, but you can definitely keep traveling much longer than you do here. So you're immediately jumping. You never got in your heels, so your heels in the hang position, so you're jumping off of your toes which is going to definitely cause you to jump the bar forward, I think. I'm guessing you're going to catch it really far forward too. Here's another issue. The barbell is really far away from your body. That's a result of not getting into your heels. In the hang position, it is close though. You're doing pretty good here on that, even though you jumped really early. So you get pretty tall. This is the thing we talked about a while ago, is the angle of your back is still, that might be a little exaggerated. Nothing's like fully extended here. So ideally in this, your ankles would be extended, your knees would be extended, your hips would be extended, and you'd have like a slight lean back because just how gravity works. The barbell is always going to try and pull you forward pretty much, and the barbell is always going to want to go back to the floor. So you have to do this kind of like little lean back in order to keep the barbell very close. So as I kind of guessed, the barbell got really far forward as a result of being forward the entire lift. You do save it here. You have very good flexibility. That's awesome. This is a really good receiving position, with one exception. You're forward. So that's just basically the trend for this whole lift. I'm not sure if that's something you do every time. We'll have to check out your lifts in the gym. But you recover very nicely here. So we'll check it out without any lines on it. Let's check it out full speed. So overall, I talked about a lot of things here that you can fix. So it sounds like a lot, but it's actually pretty much boils down to starting not so far forward and getting your hips up, and then getting into your heels in the hang position. Once you fix those three things, almost everything else that we discussed should pretty much work itself out. If it doesn't, they'll be easy to fix after that. So you're doing pretty dang good so far. Good luck, happy lifting. Let me know if you have any questions.